All right, I'm going to call this Chelsea Planning Commission meeting to order for May 20th, 2026. To start off, we will have an invocation by our Mayor Summers.
Bow your heads. Lord, please watch over us tonight as we make decisions for the city. Bless our city. Help us to continue to grow and prosper in a responsible way. Thank you for all the blessings that you've given our city. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen. And Mr. Seats, if you'll lead us in the pledge.
Please stand for the pledge. Attention, salute, pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ms. Etheridge, if you'll please call the roll.
Jeff Russell,
Present.
Billy Sanders,
Present.
Carlos Sanders,
Present.
Bert Seitz, Cody Sumners,
Here.
Scott Wygan.
Present. All right, we do have a quorum. And before we go into the minutes, I'm going to go ahead and our chairperson retired. His last meeting was the last meeting, Mr. Cole Williams. He did a great job. He served this city in that position since 2016. So we appreciate his work and effort towards making this city better. And that being said, I'm going to open up nominations for a new chairperson for the Planning and Zoning Board. Do we have anybody that wants to nominate anyone?
I would like to nominate Billy Sanders.
Okay, we have a nomination for Billy Sanders. Do you accept the nomination?
I will accept the nomination.
All right, do we have any other anybody else, that wants to be nominated? All right, then all in favor for Billy Sanders, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. All right, congratulations, you're the new chairperson.
Thank you, I appreciate that. I
Good luck.
will strive to be as good as Mr. Williams was. He will be missed.
And I hand the gavel over to you. It is your meeting.
All right, gavel, hand it over to me. All right, first thing on the agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes from April 2020, or April 27th, last month's planning meeting. Any notes or questions or comments on the minutes? All right, hearing none, I'll take a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the minutes of the April 27th, 2026 Planning Commission meeting as presented.
All right, hearing a motion, do I have a second? All right, have a second. All of those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? All right. Okay, the next thing on the business meeting here is commission business. This is old business from last month. We had a public hearing for the High Point Properties rezone request, and we're going to hear that rezone request today. From my understanding, there were some, we had kind of tabled this from last month's meeting, had some questions that went back and forth between the developer and the HOA. You want to give us a quick rundown, Mr. Engineer?
Yes, sir, I'll be happy to. Just to refresh it, the proposal would be to an R1 zoning, which would provide 20 residential lots on 28 acres. The lots would be 125 foot in width, and the concept map shows 0.8 acres. They would all have to conform to that R1 zoning. It is my understanding that they have had some informal meetings with the homeowners association and the developer, and I believe they've talked about several things. The developer can speak to you about the things that they have, and then the homeowners have also sent you some items for your consideration. We've already had all of our public hearing at our last meeting and certainly heard from the public. So I believe the action that would be appropriate would be either a recommendation or not a recommendation to the city council for further consideration. I would recommend that we hear from the developer a little bit to let him recap for you their meeting and the contents of that.
Yeah, absolutely. Mr. Farmer, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Are y'all familiar with the site layout? You want to
I am.
Yep, bring it up.
Put that on here. Oh, you got several of them. Okay.
Yeah, and, these are things we've agreed to, and kind of the basics of the, things from the meeting with the, HOA, if you want to pass those around to them.
There we go.
Sure. Let y'all share that one.
Yes, so we had a meeting at the community center with the HOA. Kim here is the HOA president, and I think all the homeowners were invited to come. I think we had maybe 30, 40 people that came, and so they've sent us some things, but the things that we've agreed to do and that we're willing to do is, like Keith said, we're doing a maximum of 20 lots. And we're willing to make this document right here part of the public record for it to be part of the zoning, you know, the conditional zoning if the council approves it. A maximum of 20 lots. The minimum lot size will be 0.8 acres. I think there's only 3 of them that are less than 1 acre. 125-foot minimum. No lot can be further subdivided in the future. We're willing to put up a bond to, if there's any road damage done to the road between 280 and where our entrance is while we're under construction, there'd be a bond in place to fix any road damage. We've agreed to leave a 30-foot undisturbed buffer adjoin on the lots that adjoin the existing houses. I think you got about 8 or 9 of our lots that adjoin 10 or 12 of their lots, and in between those, we would leave a natural wooded buffer of 30 feet. We've agreed we'll do no blasting. We've done several test pits out there, and most of the areas we dug plenty deep to do what we need to do. There might be a couple of places where we have to use some rock hammers. We'll use rock hammers, no blasting. We've agreed to do that. We've agreed to, they gave us a copy of covenants. I've got a copy right there. It's the Forest Parks First Sector, Second Edition, as recorded in map book page 2238 at Shelby County. We've agreed to adopt those covenants and agree to everything within the covenants except for section 25 of the covenants, which is the Architectural Control Committee. We want full control of our plan approvals as long as the plans meet their covenants and restrictions, all of their materials, all of their minimum square footages, all of the landscaping requirements, all of that kind of stuff, then we have the right to approve them and not turn that over, have a fear of if some of the residents were in charge of that, it would be unreasonable and plans wouldn't get approved and we wouldn't be able to sell lots. And then a couple of the other small, only 2 changes we would make to the other parts of the covenants is on section 8. It says you gotta sod the whole front yard, and with the lots that are 125 to 150 feet with huge timber, natural timber that's there, if we left, you know, a natural area between the houses of timber, you know, with big natural space, that we wouldn't wanna take down the trees just to put inside. We wanna leave the natural trees that are there inside around it where the yard, and leave the natural trees there. So we'd make that amendment to section 8. And then on section 23, I think these covenants were done 15, 20 years ago. Some of the, you know, styles of houses have changed. We would want we'd amend that. That would be in, you know, about the exterior of the homes, and we would amend it to they would be all brick, stone, or hardy plank siding on all sides of the house, no vinyl siding, you know, just to meet kind of what the modern styles of home building are today versus the, you know, just 2-story all brick. So those are the things we're agreed to and willing to make part of the public record and part of the conditional rezoning.
Okay. Yeah, anybody from the HOA want to give any comments about the meeting or thoughts?
We did meet with them.
Oh,
and
you
most
gotta
of the residents-
come up to the microphone, sorry.
We met with them last week, and most of the residents that were there were receptive to them, and we took kind of a vote, you know, just kind of a informal vote, and it was about 2/3 to 1/3, 2/3 for it and about 1/3 against it. Most of the people agreed to have them a part of our HOA. They would adopt the covenants and everything that he said that we talked about at the meeting, so.
Okay.
Okay. So does that cover everything that y'all went over, and HOA's
It
good.
does. We had a couple of residents that were very much against it, so there were, some other items that they requested that, like larger houses. I think one of the guys was wanting a 3,000 square foot home, was it? 3,500, where the covenant said, 2,000 for a one-story house, and I don't remember what all the,
Sure.
Right.
no, for the most part, yes, we were happy with that.
So within our packet here, there's a full condition checklist for submitted plans. So we have the list.
That came, I believe, from one of the residents.
Oh,
Is
this
that-
came, yeah, this came from one of the residents?
It did. It came
Gotcha.
from the resident who was requesting a 3,500 square foot house.
Oh, okay, got it. Okay, but as far as as y'all's meeting goes, this is a good list to go by.
Right.
Understood.
Yes, that's what we agreed with.
Okay,
Good?
Yep, thank you.
yes, thank you.
One more thing. Of course, nobody wants the development to happen, but if it did, this would probably be a better case scenario than some of the other developments that came through. But of course, most of the residents, I just want to say they wish it would stay natural. So I do want to make that part of the record, that we would like it. But if there's going to be development, this would be a great option for doing it.
Gotcha.
Well said.
Any other comments? Mr. Engineer, anything else we need to take into consideration? Oh, yes, sir. Sure.
Good evening. My name's Roger Fowler. I live at 235 Claremont Road. I've been living at Forest Parks since 2001, and I'm a retiree, Marine Corps veteran. I got to thinking about our subdivision. I'm probably going to be moving in a couple of years, but somebody needs to stand up for our younger couples who live in the community, especially the 7 houses on Essex. I've talked to some of our law enforcement officers who live in our community. They couldn't say whether yea or nay, but I got thinking just a while ago, if we have some backups like we do when we have soccer games at the park, they're going to have a hard way of getting out of our community in case of emergencies. Plus, I go down to the park every day, and Jeremy Donahoe, the superintendent of the parks, kind of asked me to keep eye on anything. If I notice anything out of the ordinary, to contact him. I just noticed the other day that the gates weren't open into the park. And then I got thinking, man, we don't even have a emergency exit in case of emergency going out onto 280 if it's blocked and everybody's trying to get out at one time. And so I was looking at the road. It used to be down at the park area. They started making a road to join Forest Parks up on the hill to the Forest Parks on Highway 43. Well, the road was stopped. The reason I was told is because the eagles were nesting on that road, and so the environmental people shut it down. I looked at the map down at Dunlop Valley Creek, aerial view. The road was there, and I'm thinking the only way, if we have an emergency fire, we just had a fire there on the bank, and if we have a real emergency, then I'm heading to that road. And I think the road, I asked Jeremy the other day, he said he thinks, he's checking into the road. He thinks the road eventually crosses some private property, and he said he was going to check on that for me. But I'm thinking about emergency situations. I've been down to the park when they've had soccer games. Just the night before last, they had, the coach told me they had about 40 team members come in there with, cars. I've tried to get the cars to slow down. I contacted Jim Jetter from the Soccer Association, trying to get them to slow down, because when the soccer mom and dads come into that area, the speed limit is 20 miles an hour, and they're running late, and they're moving on. We have people in our neighborhood who walk their pets, push their babies in the strollers, do jogging and all that, and I've tried to slow them down, but I'm not having any luck in that situation. But I've been talking to some of my neighbors, and they've really started complaining about how long it's taken now to get out on 280. Prior, I know that it's been turned down, this building, housing there has been turned down before. And the reason was because of I think one of the council members said it's one of the most dangerous intersections in Chelsea. If you pass this and approve it, I've noticed that cars are now missing the soccer turn at Highway 41. They're coming up to our intersection now and doing a U-turn, heading back to the soccer games, plus people coming in for voting the other day. They were missing the turn. They were using our entrance on 280 as a turnaround. And traffic is getting more and more congested in that particular section. I talked to one of my neighbors the other day, and he said he took him 25 minutes to get out on 280. And we're having issues about people coming off of 280 into our subdivision. People don't know what they're really supposed to be doing in that situation, and we've had some close wrecks. My main concern is congestion in that area. Of course, you know 280 is getting more congested. The people on 280 are, as you know, you drive 280 probably every day. You know what's going on 280. I pray every day before I get out on 280, I just make it back home safely. But in our situation, I'm here not to represent me, because I'm probably going to be moving on down the line. My grandbabies are in Gulf Shores, so my wife's been wanting to go down and be with them. But they say there's not going to be any blast. Oh yeah, and they said it's going to be underground utilities. Why do you think the rest of the subdivision has got telephone poles? They tried to put underground utilities in our subdivision to start with. They hit rock. So that's the reason we got telephone poles in our subdivision now. And as you know, that's known as Snake Mountain. And then when they start drilling, they're going to be getting into snake dens and all this other. And I'm just concerned about the 7 houses that are on Essex. They said, and another thing is, you can use Melrose Landing as an example. Melrose Landing, when they first came out with Melrose Landing, I thought it was going to be great. You know, the lots are going to be huge. They're talking about what kind of houses are going to be built in there. And I'm saying, man, that's great. Because I can see Melrose from my house. And because we're looking down at it, and I'm thinking, well, you know, that'd be great to have those kind of houses. Well, you see what they got in there now. They got garden homes, small lots, nothing what was expected to be there. One of my neighbors told me he knows a guy that lived in Eagle Point. He was going to move to Melrose Landing. He paid money down on the house. He went and he hired an inspector to inspect that house in Melrose Landing. The inspector told him he's definitely going to have problems with the roof within a year. So the guy backed out on buying the house. He had a hard time getting his money back. The only reason he got his money back is because someone else bought the house, not knowing the issues in that situation.
Well, we appreciate you coming up. I hate to cut you off, but we
Okay,
do have a
that's all.
small time limit here.
I think I got it all off. I've been practicing.
Well, we appreciate you coming
All right,
up
buddy.
and speaking your mind about it. Yes,
All
sir.
right, buddy.
All right. Do you have anybody else that has any questions, comments? Do you have anybody that would like to make a motion?
I recommend that we go forward with the High Point property rezoning request.
Okay.
This is a recommendation
Is that
to
a,
the council.
yeah, recommendation to the council?
Recommendation to the council.
Yeah, so we need to include the conditions to the zoning here that are laid out and approved by the HOA as part of that recommendation. All right, here in do I have a second? All right, Bert. All right, here in a second, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
All right. Thank you. Thank you all for coming to speak with us on that. Next thing on the commission business is a public hearing for the Brasher Lane rezone request. We have anybody that signed up for that? No? Forgot that. All right, nobody that signed up for it.
No, sir.
So we open the public hearing and then close it?
We'll open it, see if anybody wants to speak. and then-
Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and open the public hearing for the Brasher Lane rezone request. Is there anybody here that would like to say anything?
Anyone?
Nobody? Okay. I guess we can now close the public hearing for the rezone request. And the last thing on the,
Do we need to vote on that one?
do we?
So yes, you have the action before you would be either a recommendation or no recommendation to the city council.
Oh, that wasn't on here. My bad, I missed that. Okay, so, do you want to go through that one with us real quick, Mr. Engineer?
I sure can. So again, this is the property as shown on the maps in your packet. The request before you is simply to classify the property as B2 or make that recommendation to the city council. It is a part of your comprehensive plan to be a commercial property. One item that was touched on at your last meeting was some issues of what might happen with entrances and all that, and that would be pretty hard to tell until they bring you a specific development. At that point, if it were to be zoned by the council, then we would take up those engineering issues, whether that be with the improvements of the road or the Alabama DOT entrance, or all those things would depend on what they might want to place in there. So this is simply the highest and best use of that piece of property. Our recommendation is that the comprehensive plan does show it as commercial, and that would be the best use. So our recommendation will be a recommendation to approve the rezoning, but that is at your purview.
Okay, so this is,
Right above Valley Post,
yeah, all the Valley Post property.
not all of it.
Behind the Valley Post, yes, this, right,
Yeah, so we've got access off of that road.
yeah. We've heard this one before, somewhere along the way.
It was introduced at your last meeting, and we spoke on several different issues. Most of those would be more specific when a development came to you. So just wanted to point out, this is a very basic idea. If you feel like it would be better for that to be commercial
Correct, understood.
or agricultural.
Yes, the only thing we're looking at today is just going from AR to B2.
Correct.
Got it.
Highest and best use is your charge.
Understood. Any questions? All right, I hear a motion. Anybody?
I'll make a motion that we approve or recommend to the council for rezone.
All right, hearing a motion, do I have a second? All right, any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye. Aye. All those opposed? All right, now we can move on to the Marshall rezone request. Mr. Engineer, can you go through that one for us?
Yes, sir. This case was actually brought before us before, and the owner elected to withdraw his request, in which case he could revamp that request and bring it back to you. That's what he indicated to us he was doing. I don't see Mr. Marshall here, so I don't know if he's here to do it. some of the problems with the lots, not only does it appear that it may not conform very well with some of the lots surrounding it, but you have some flood zone and some other items. It would appear that he's trying to separate the accessory structure from his main residence there and be able to sell those separately. Unfortunately, it doesn't appear that the area and the way the land lays would allow that. It doesn't appear to us that that's a good match. So what our recommendation would be is to let him keep working on that, and if he could come up with something that we can't see, perhaps we could move forward at that point. But since he's not here to answer your questions, I think I would take no action at this time. He can bring that back to you at a future meeting with no penalty.
So you're saying just table it and don't receive it? Or set the public
Yes, I
hearing?
think what I would do is just simply no action, then there's no penalty for Mr. Marshall. If he wants to come and bring you something else to consider, he can. But I would not set a public hearing without him being here. What he has shown us in his map would not conform to even the zoning he is requesting, unfortunately. I appreciate what he's trying to do, it just, unfortunately, it just doesn't fit.
Yeah. So do we need to take a vote to table it, or can we just not
No
take
action. I
at
think
all?
you call for an action and nothing happens, and then he has no penalty. He could come back next month if he so chose.
Okay. All right, do I have anybody that wants to make a motion of any sort?
You gotta ask 3 times.
I've got to ask 3 times. Anybody want to make a motion of any sort on the Marshall rezone request? Anybody at all want to make a motion on the rezone request? All right, hearing a motion, it'll be tabled by default.
No action taken.
No action taken?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no action taken on the Marshall rezone request.
Correct.
Okay, so there's no further business, I'll accept a motion to adjourn. All right, hearing a motion, do I have a second? Any further discussion? No, hear none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed.